How you doing, guys? Thank you guys for tuning in. This is Dana from Master Investing University. What I want to talk about today is farming in an area that you live in. The definition of farming, if any of you guys don't know, it's actually what you're doing is you're picking a particular area that you want to invest in. You want to find motivated buyers, and then in turn you want to find sellers for each property that you're buying and move them in a fairly rapid pace. Farming in your own area, ideally, if you can do that, it's a perfect scenario for a bunch of reasons. Establishing a rapport locally works well. You can build up relationships with your local realtors, the title company. You have the ability, if it's local within a county or two or three or four where you live, it's not that far to travel, to build up a one-on-one with your clerk of courts, the county offices that you need to use if you're going to go do your own title search and doing tax deed sales or stuff like that if they're not online. It's just an ideal scenario all around. If you're farming a particular area and it's within driving distance, just building relationships in the community at the diners, posting signs, it's convenient. I know as far as realtors and title companies and attorneys, accountants, if you keep it local, it works really well. Obviously, some communities, it's just not a feasible option. The way it's structured, the prices might be so high that it's just not feasible as a land investor to get involved. You have to tie up too much money. But when it's possible, I think, especially for young land investors, it's a great alternative, and it's a safer option a lot of times. Being able to get to the properties is important. And I've talked about other lessons, building up a team. And if you're trying to do this by yourself and you're trying to buy property from motivated sellers, whether it's through a delinquent tax list, soliciting through eBay, signs, stuff like that, and you're trying to do it out of area, it becomes very difficult because the work that it entails to do a due diligence on the property, a lot of times you can miss stuff. I mean, a lot of guys do it, they do it really well, and they're very proficient at it, make a lot of money. But for myself, going forward, and as the one that's teaching you guys, wanting to make sure you guys succeed, there's a lot more mistakes that can be made because each state's a little different in their laws. Certain states, you can't do certain things with owner financing. Certain states, they're just governed a little different. So if you get comfortable with your area, it really works well. And not only that, I mean, if you're buying property and you live in an area, or you're farming an area that's ledgy, it's hilly, it makes it a little more difficult to do, even if you look at some of the Google Earth stuff, to topographically really understand what you're getting. If it's local, you can walk the property if it's within driving distance. You can go out and do a handshake and take a local realtor that you want to work with, that you're on the same page and he understands what you want to do. You can take him out for a bite to eat. You can swing by the office. Title company, same thing. Go down and meet everybody in the office. Let them know who you are, hand to hand, face to face. It works really well. I mean, I've worked mostly in Florida myself, and I call that my farm area. And most of the time, I've even done, at one time I was doing 12 counties. And I want to say that I knew personally 6 or 7 of the realtors throughout the state, actually made trips, set up appointments, met with them. We dialed it in, got on the same page, had a bite to eat with them. There's a handful of them I'm still in relationships with over the years and become friends with them. And it's worked out well. Another thing with the realtors, and when you build a relationship up with a realtor, is that in the real estate business they have what they call pocket deals. And a pocket deal is when a realtor or broker comes across the property, that comes into their office, or somebody that contacted them wants to sell a property, and I'm referring to the land business. For instance, they have a property that's super motivated, they want to get rid of it, so they call a particular agent. Before the agent lists it, it comes across their desk, as they say. If you have a good relationship, a lot of times, it's happened to me more than once, quite a few times, they'll give me a call, send me an email and say, listen, Dana, got a great opportunity. I got a lady or a gentleman that wants to move a property. They're flexible on price. They just need money for such and such. I haven't listed it yet, so I'm giving you first dibs on it. That's a great thing, and that happens with building relationships. And you can do it from a distance. You can do it from in California and do property in Florida. You could be in Michigan and work South Dakota. You could be in New Mexico, and be working in New Hampshire. I'm not saying you can't, but like anything, there's something lost in the translation when it's just emails, it's just cell phone calls. Even if you're FaceTiming, there's something missing. It's like when people say, "Geez, somebody texts me something. Now, I don't really understand what they meant," and then they said something because it's lost in the translation. From my experience, I just think one-on-one works better than anything. And in a local community, you can go out and you can post the signs. You can get the word out in the dimes, let everybody know, hey, my name's so-and-so, this is what I do. If you ever hear anybody looking for property. Title companies, I'll tell you, for instance, I had a deal come back through. A lady called me after I had solicited this particularly about 2 years ago. And she just called me recently, real motivated to sell. And because I answered the phone and spoke to her, and I referred to that in another lesson, I was able to make the deal with her. She needed some money, and I gave her my word, and she trusted me. She didn't think it was a scam once she talked to me one-on-one. And I need to get this property done. I got to get it done before the holiday, or before the first of the year. So I'm going to do a self-closing, but obviously I need to get some title work done. And I don't usually go to the counties for title work. I've built a relationship with the counties, but mainly it's through the tax deed sales and stuff like that. So I called my local title company, spoke to the lady that owns the company, explained to her, listen, I'm going to be coming by next week, and I'm going to be needing some stuff from you. She said, no problem, let me know. Well, anyways, I didn't have much time this morning, so I just emailed her and told her, listen, I have this lady that needs to sell a property. She's pretty motivated. I need to get title clear pretty quick. If there's anything you can do, I'd please I need to get it done. I promised I'd try to get it done for the first of the year. No sooner I text her, I got a response right back. No problem, Dana. Listen, I'll put a rush on it. We'll get it done for you as soon as we can. It's the holiday, but we'll do our best. So my response was, thanks, Cindy. I really appreciate it. Listen, let me know whatever it is. I'll come by the office, drop you off a check. Now, that's easy because she's local. Drive down the street, drop off a check. I've met her. I've been in her office many times. She does a lot of my title work. Like I said, I told her, let me swing by and get you a check, whatever it is. As soon as I texted her, she responded, Dana, listen, no problem, not going to charge you for this. That's what I'm talking about. Now, those things happen because you build up a relationship. It's a one-on-one. I know the people in the office. I know her daughter works there. And I'm a type of person, I'm not greedy. When I tell somebody something, I mean it. She knows any of the closings, if I'm selling on finance or anything else, I'm typically going to bring it by her office, run it through her office, let her do the work. I hear a lot of investors, they have a tendency to be a little greedy. They want to do everything themselves. They want to take the property, exclude the realtors, exclude the title companies 100%, do the footwork, a lot of times delegate it out of country, out of state, and try to squeeze all the money for themselves. That's all well and good, but I'm old school, and I believe one hand washes another. I've had circumstances where a particular lawyer's office, they were actually in-house in Florida, a real estate attorney, president of Real Estate Association, a couple counties, was the escrow company and also the title company. Because they were all in-house, it was a great service. We've actually, myself and my partner in the past, actually sent them, I think, to 2 Jimmy Buffett concerts, 2 or 3 to people in the office. More than once, probably 3 or 4 times, had sent them over 4 or 5-star catered lunches for the whole team because we appreciate them. I think anybody in business wants to be appreciated. And if you are, I think you have a tendency to work harder for the person. You don't try to get anything for nothing. You don't get greedy. There's enough to go around. If you're doing well in the land business and you're sharpening your pencil and you're tuned in and you're moving product, share the wealth and make sure everybody gets a tap on the back. Because I know in my life, even the business I run now, when people appreciate me and appreciate the work that we do, you go above and beyond for that particular customer. So that's the lesson, basically. If you can, keep it in your backyard as close as you can. I think most of the times you can. You just got to be creative, like I always preach. Be creative, look around, get on Zillow, spend a couple hours on it if you have a chance one night or one morning or whatever you break the time off to do it. And just do a search. You can filter the search on Zillow. It's a pretty comfortable site to work with, pretty user-friendly. And look at what's available, if it's acreage or if it's platted building lots. Kind of get an idea what the prices are, what's sold, what's listed. And that'll give you a good understanding what you have in your surrounding area, because you can do it anywhere. You can search anywhere on Zillow, but start with your backyard. And I say within 30, 40, 50 miles if you can, and you can even broaden that span within your state. It's a lot easier because once you know the state laws, you know the do's and don'ts, you know the law of the land, there's fewer mistakes to be made. And I want all you guys to succeed, so My advice is if you can, work in your backyard, the counties around you, build relationships with the people locally. I promise you it'll work out better in the long run. You'll get the pocket deals. Don't expect anything for nothing. I've always been one more than generous, but I just think it's something I want all my guys and girls to succeed, so I try to eliminate any of the complications. I don't want to make any of this complex. I want you to go through the lessons, the ABCs, the intermediate course, and if you go through the master series, every bit of it I want to explain step by step. I don't want you to leave scratching your head and saying, geez, he gave me a lot of information, but I'm still not sure. Because a lot of people stand on the sidelines, and I want everybody to be ready, even if it's just in the ABCs. Be able to jump in the game, get your feet wet. That's when you really learn. That's where you make some little mistakes, trying to prevent those. But I tell anybody, don't stand on the sidelines. You're not going to learn unless you get in the game. It's the best way to learn. So guys, thank you again for tuning in. I appreciate your time. Go out, inspire somebody, be safe. Don't be greedy. Don't try to get rich overnight. Have a wonderful week. Talk to you soon. I'm out. Bye-bye.